I'm Sheridan.
And I'm Juliet, and we are so happy you're here.
Today, we have a bit of a fun episode for you. We have scrolled all the way through Reddit and we've picked out some Am I the A-hole stories for you. So these are all obviously wedding planning, wedding related stories, and I think we're going to be able to have a nice little chat about them.
Yep, some fun ones. So sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it.
All right, so our first one is, am I the a-hole for having a lights out wedding? I am the daughter of the most amazing parents that ever did amaze. No, they are not perfect, but they've literally done everything they could in their lives to make sure I was happy to the best of their ability. They are also both blind. Being raised by blind parents wasn't without its challenges, but we always found solutions or compromises. But the one thing that was often a point of contention, especially when I was a teenager, was clothing/fashion. My parents have their own way of being fashionable, and rather than appearance, it's fabric/feel. This has resulted in them having a very eclectic sense of fashion, but I honestly love it. I admit that I hated it as a teenager as I had no say over my own wardrobe purchases, but I realized after I moved out that I really did prefer to feel comfortable in my clothes over how I looked in them. Took many stupid, expensive clothing purchases to realize this, but I digress. Nothing is mismatched anymore, but I have a super cozy wardrobe. With the wedding planning in full swing, my future husband asked me if I was going to be okay with the photos. He did not mean this maliciously. It just didn't occur to him that I was originally planning to buy them clothing to wear. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, wouldn't a fabric wedding be special? Essentially, the whole wedding will be in the dark. I was inspired by that restaurant in the movie About Time, have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, like these two people meet in basically a restaurant that's like fully lights out and you get like guided around by people. So you can't see like who you're on a date with and that kind of thing. I realized that I don't want to dress my parents. I want them to be comfortable and to enjoy our wedding the way they experience it. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I want to experience this special day as they would too. My future husband, honest to God, does not care. In his mind, the moment I said yes, I became his wife. I love him. To avoid accidents, we're going to be using glow stick lighting and everyone will be provided glow bracelets/necklaces. They light up enough not to crash into each other, but not so much as to light up the room. We're also hiring event staff with night vision for this equipment too, or night vision equipment. When we announced, most of the family was supportive. My family goes without saying. Fiance's family is iffy. His brother loves the idea and is going to come in a velvet suit a la Austin Powers. Honestly, it's his parents that are really against it. We had a huge fight over it when they argued that it's not fair to, quote, punish the guests because my parents are blind. The reason I think that I may be the asshole is because the part of his family that is siding with his parents are vowing not to boycott if we don't have lights.
Maybe are vowing to boycott?
Possibly are vowing to boycott instead of,
if we don't have lights,
My husband just thinks it's their loss and that his parents will attend even if begrudgingly. But I know it would hurt his relationship with them and I don't want that. It's not that this is a hill I'm willing to die on, but it's my wedding and this would be really special to me.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I am in full support of the bride and groom.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool idea.
Yeah, and if the bride and groom are happy to do that, I mean, I think it would be different if the husband was against it. Because, if he wasn't supportive of it, then it would be different. But because he's on board with it, it's like, why does his parents feel the need to put their input?
Yes. Yeah, I agree. There is a couple of edits that she's made based off some of the comments. So I'll read through them now. So the first one is that they've hired a wedding planner whose job it is to make sure that the event runs smoothly and safely. They're being paid to factor in any contingency to ensure that it's actually a safe experience. There'll also be staff wearing night vision goggles, monitoring every table to ensure everyone's safety again, and so that if anyone needs help or guidance, they'll provide it, whether it's like serving food, escorting guests anywhere. There were 200 invites sent out and 121 have RSVP'd yes. For those 121 guests, they've hired 20 extra hands to help cover the tables and making sure everything's safe. So a lot of people on Reddit think, yes, this person is the a-hole.
Oh, really?
Yep. So one of the main reasons that people are saying that is because they're basically saying it's extremely unsafe. And so that's why they're reiterating that we're hiring lots of people because basically like if there's a chair that's out where it shouldn't be, it's very easy to trip over.
Yeah, right.
If there's like a little step somewhere, not necessarily just like people bumping into each other, but like...
Yeah. Opposed to like restaurants that have that set up where it's a bit more controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I understand. Yeah.
So another like edit that they made is... I've heard a lot of people imply that glow bracelets and necklaces won't be enough. And then having been to many nightclubs and raves in my teens and early 20s, I can promise you that 121 wearing these is enough to see with.
Yeah.
Also like with the staff managing, you know, safety concerns.
Yeah.
There's another one that says a lot of the a-hole are making very valid points and I'm discussing them with my future husband and we'll be talking with my wedding planner. But for those whose only argument is that they wouldn't be comfortable not being able to see, that's literally the point. You're not supposed to. If someone came in a giant furry Sully from Monsters Inc. costume, I'd be thrilled when I ran into them. The wedding is not going to be focused on visually enjoying this experience. It's about hearing, smelling, tasting and feeling it. I know for a fact that enjoyment isn't dependent on sight, which I thought was really funny. People were very unhappy with that comment.
Oh.
There were some people that were kind of like, no, like, you know, you can do what you want. It's your wedding, kind of like what you said. And then after she made that edit, they've gone, actually, no, you are in the wrong because they're saying like, that's not the point, like that you're not meant to feel comfortable.
Oh.
Which I
that's what she was
understand,
meaning.
but that's definitely not what she's meaning. And she did like make another point to say that's not what I meant at all. But it's kind of like that's how her parents experience things. So it's not about not feeling comfortable. It's just that you're not meant to be able to see everything.
Yeah, or you don't. Vision isn't the only, like you don't need vision to enjoy.
Yes, I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would work for like the whole wedding though.
Yeah, that's true.
I think having it as like while we do a certain thing or, you know, cocktail hour is lights out or, you know, something like that, I think would make a lot more sense just with the safety concern.
Yes, that's true. Because, I kind of forgot about how many people were actually coming.
Yeah.
And again, I suppose it would be a lot easier to do something like this and a lot more safely or much safer if it was like 30 or 40 people, I suppose. But over 200, that is quite a lot of people to manage.
It is a lot of people. And like you think about how easy it might be to accidentally like knock something off a table and then no one really notices because that's not the kind of thing that the extra staff are looking out for and someone will trip over that not seeing it. So I really like the idea. I think it's such a cool idea, such a cool concept. And I think it would be awesome to like be a part of it and like be a guest.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see why there's people saying like
some hazards.
Yeah. Probably don't do that.
But I like your kind of idea of maybe just for like a section of the wedding or a small part of the wedding they can turn off the lights and do something cool. But then so it's a lot more controlled and making sure people are seated or something like that.
Yeah.
So you kind of eliminate the hazards even more.
Yeah, so it can kind of be like, all right, everyone's seated, now we're going to lights out for a bit and I don't know, do whatever, do speeches or something. Yeah. Even lights out because like no one really needs to be doing anything. Yeah. For speeches would be a really good one.
Speeches and then like maybe even just like entree for them if they want that experience of the food coming out.
Yeah.
And then it's like you just one meal, speeches, and then lights come back on.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And you
Such
just
a cool
tell people
concept,
to stay seated.
Yeah. Like no moving around. If you need to go to the toilet, go now.
Which still is quite hard if it's over 200 people. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of people to try and like manage. Overall, I think not the a-hole.
Yeah.
But maybe just needs some tweaking.
Yes. Yeah, because I feel like, am I the a-hole? Like that's kind of, I don't know, it's not malicious what she's doing.
No.
She's not intending for it to, or she wasn't doing anything out of spite or anything like that. It was just like, she's got this really nice idea for her wedding because of her parents.
Yeah.
And it's just, unfortunately, there are some hazards involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's a slightly different approach. This is, would I be the a-hole for not showing up to a wedding I'm part of without giving a reason? Ooh.
I think you're going to find this one funny.
Okay. All right. My brother is getting married in a few weeks to my best friend since childhood. They've been together for a few years now, and of course my best friend wants me to be her maid of honour. They've known each other for a long time, since she was always hanging out at my house, but I didn't know they were close until I came home from grad school and found out that they'd been dating. I thought they'd have fun for a minute, then break up, and we'd all laugh about it someday. It's clearly no longer the plan. Because here's my problem. I'm in love with her. Oh my goodness. Okay. The turn of events. I've been since before I really knew what being in love was. For me, the sun doesn't rise in the morning before I talk to her. She's the light of my life. That's actually quite sweet.
It is a nice little, yeah.
She doesn't know I feel this way. Or if she does, then there's a reason she didn't say anything back. I know she's straight. She knows I'm not. And I always expected to stand at her side one day while she got married to a man. I've accepted that. I know she loves me, even if it's not in the exact same way I love her. As long as she's in my life, I'm happy. But this isn't just some guy I can politely ignore and forget about. It's my brother. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're wondering, yes, he knows how I've always felt about her. Okay, interesting. We've never sat down and spoke about it, but he's not an idiot and hears when I talk about her. He's always been awkward mentioning their relationship around me, and extra much so when he pulled me aside a few months back to tell me he was proposing. I was hoping the feeling of betrayal would fade away with time, but if I'm being honest, it hasn't. Still, I know he makes her happy and she makes him happy too, so I've done my best to power through all their conjugal bliss so far. But the upcoming wedding has just made it worse and worse. It would be bad enough as a guest, but they want me to stand next to them and make a speech about what they both mean to me, and to hand them rings. All the while, my best friend has been gushing about how happy she is, how she can't wait to be his wife and have children with him. Every tiny little thing he does for her, and I can't help but feel that I was really just one chromosome away from being in his place. I like that. I feel like the Little Mermaid walking barefoot on glass and unable to say anything about it. I don't think I have the strength to be in that wedding. I'm already miserable. I've always been the fun one, and I just don't have it in me anymore. I can't just stand down now either. She wouldn't understand. And I'd have to explain, which could only lead to a world of hurt. I don't want to ruin this for them. She's still my best friend, and he's still my brother. So Reddit, would I be the a-hole if I just faked being sick or something on the day and ditched the wedding?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, this is such a terrible situation for this person to be in. Like, it really sucks that they're in love with someone that is marrying somebody else. Yeah. But, like, at the end of the day, if this really is your best friend and you really care about your brother.
And your brother, yeah.
Like, you just have to power through.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe that means having a conversation with them and like just being honest, as hard as it would be, and saying, look, this is how I feel, and I don't think that I can do a speech and give you the rings and do all of this stuff because I'm hurting. But then, and as much as like that might, you know, make things uncomfortable, it would be so much worse if you just ditched on the day.
Yeah. Because I think that would also lead to potentially a fallout as well.
100%.
And yeah.
Because like they said, I can't just stand down now either. She wouldn't understand. Yeah. But at least if you stand down now, she has time to find someone else. Or, you know, to delegate those tasks that you were going to do to somebody else. Whereas if you drop on the day, you're just going to cause, like this person is just going to cause so much stress to her and your brother.
Yeah. Because there'll be someone missing in the wedding, not just her herself, but like there won't be a maid of honor in the wedding. Which usually most of the time there's certain elements of the wedding where it's like either like the rings or the speeches, walking down the aisle. You're paired up with usually the best man with a lot of things. So it's like you can't just have no one there.
Yeah. So, I think you would be. You would be in the wrong for just ditching. Yeah. It really, really sucks though.
Yeah. And I do feel bad for her that that's her situation.
Yeah, of course.
But
I also feel like maybe she also just needs to distance herself from this friend.
Yeah.
Because
as hard as it would be
that like not only is this your best friend for ages and like you are in love with them.
Yeah.
If you keep being around this person, you're never gonna be able to like open your eyes to a potential other person.
Yeah.
For you to fall in love with. Yeah. Because you'll always just be kind of stuck.
Yeah.
On this, like on her.
Yeah, yeah. And like you still, put yourself first in that regard, but don't, throw them under the bus. Is that the right term?
Oh, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Or do them dirty. I don't know. Yeah. Don't throw your brother and your best friend under the bus on their wedding day. Like still be there and be supportive. But once that's over, start putting yourself first and open yourself up. Find a way to open yourself up to other people, and if that means putting distance between you guys.
And I think that like if you really don't feel comfortable talking to your best friend about it because you don't know if she even does know how you feel, they've said that like their brother
probably has an inkling.
Most likely has an inkling. So like speak to the brother about it, and then the brother can speak to the other, like the best friend, and be like, hey, we're going to have to, you know, just move things around a little bit so that they feel more comfortable.
Yes, unfortunately.
You would be.
Yes. And this is probably going to lead to some awkward conversations, but it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, things work out for the better. But just don't call in sick to the wedding. Don't do that.
Yeah, this isn't like a toxic workplace or anything. It's a bit different. All right, moving on. Would I be the a-hole if I had my wedding in my sister's dream wedding location? I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on this one because your sister is having a destination wedding. I am from the US but went to university in the UK and have been in England since. My fiance is from Italy but similarly came to the UK for uni. My sister, who is a few years older, is someone who has always fantasized about her wedding. Pinterest stuff, hundreds of pics in her camera roll, follows a bunch of wedding bakery Insta pages, etc. Her dream wedding location has always been an Italian vineyard. When deciding our wedding location, my fiance and I were going between New York, London, and Tuscany, where his family is from. We chose Tuscany because 1, we find it the most beautiful. 2, his family has a huge vineyard where they're happy to host everyone. And 3, with the money we'd save for venue and accommodations, we could pay for the airfare for all of our guests coming from the US. It'll be a small wedding, max 50 people, roughly 15 from the US, 10 from the UK, and then the people from Italy. So it's doable. Any way we go about it, it'll be a destination wedding for some people. So Tuscany is thus the best financially speaking. My sister, however, is furious. She called me selfish for doing this to her since I've never cared nearly as much about weddings, but now I'm stealing her dream location. My parents were on her side till I told them my fiance and I would be covering all our family's airfare and accommodations. And then they were placated. Placated? I think that's how you say it. They worried family members wouldn't want to go to 2 destination weddings in Italy. Oh, so I think like the family's torn because if the sister has a destination wedding, like the family won't want to go now. Like if they have to pay.
Oh, I think maybe that placated or placated, whatever that means. They were like happy because it removed the fact that family wouldn't want to pay twice to go to a destination
okay, yeah,
wedding.
that makes more sense.
Yeah. So, but because they said they'd cover airfares and accommodation, they were like, oh, no, it's fine. Yeah.
My sister, however, has not come around, even when I've tried to explain the reasoning behind it all. After talking with my mum today, she suggested that we just have it in England to, quote, keep the peace, since this means so much to my sister while I've never cared much for weddings. She said she and my dad discussed and think they're able to cover the cost of all the airfare for the people flying from the US, which might be financially doable for them, but really not ideal as they're both retired. I'm not sure what to do now. My fiancé strongly prefers Italy, but he isn't adamantly against London. His parents very much want to host the wedding. I don't think I'm the a-hole since this is literally where my fiancé's family lives, but I'm willing to admit I'm wrong. So would I be the a-hole if I don't give in?
I don't think so, no.
No.
Yeah, no. And because his family lives there, that's, I think, the big element in all of this, where it's like she's not just picking some random location that her sister really dreamed about. Yeah. And it's just like, oh yeah, you're getting married in Italy.
Yeah.
I got married in Italy.
Yeah, I agree though. It's not like she's going, oh my God, you were thinking about an Italy wedding. Where were you looking? Oh, I'm going to get married there.
Yeah. No, his family's literally from there. They have a vineyard in Italy. Like that's completely different. That changes it all. So no, I don't think she is at all.
No. And I also think that like her sister then kind of making her parents pay.
Yeah. Wait, what did she say?
So her parents have basically said that they'll be able to cover the cost if they have it in the UK. So like cover the cost of flights for the guests traveling from the US. Yeah. But they're both retired. Yeah. Like they're not bringing in money.
Yeah.
For them to do that, like that's a big cost.
Yes.
Especially when it's like they feel obligated to because they want to keep the peace. Yeah. As the mum said. I also think it really like is a shame that this person doesn't have the support from their parents.
Yes.
And like that their parents are kind of siding with the sister.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see or like know if the sister is like in a long-term relationship. Like, is she engaged? Is she getting married soon? Yeah. Because I think that also does play a little bit into it in that like if she's getting married in 6 months.
Yes. Yeah.
And her wedding is all. But at the same time, I still don't think that there should even be an issue about it.
No, not at all. Again, because it's his family and where his family lives. It's like it's equally like doing it where her family's from or doing it where his family is from. It's like equal. Yeah. You know, she can't be mad that her fiance lives in Italy and they want to do it as
lives on a beautiful vineyard.
Yes. Like how can you like I understand that that's her dream location and dream everything, but yeah, you can't argue with the fact that one of the people getting married it's their home.
Yeah. Well, I also just think that like it doesn't matter if they
No.
both get married in
No.
an Italian vineyard.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, same.
Like, I think that there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
And if this sister obviously is so like has her heart set on where she wants to get married and everyone kind of knows about it, it's not going to come as a surprise to her friends and the family that she also then goes and gets married in Italy. It's not going to be like, oh, now she's just copying the sister because the sister got married in Italy. It's like known that that's what she's always wanted to do.
Yeah. Which like maybe, is it maybe the slight element of jealousy? Or,
I think there has to be some like envy
or
involved.
Like I can understand that sometimes you kind of then being the second one to do that, it's like you have to live up to a certain expectation.
Yeah.
So there is going to potentially be that element for the sister. But again, it's like you make it different. Do it in your own way and it's perfectly fine.
And also like you have no idea. Obviously, like we don't have all of the details.
Yeah.
But it might be just like a family vineyard that doesn't really have much, like that's never a wedding venue.
Yeah, no.
That's not kind of made to be a wedding venue, but they're going to do it up really beautifully. And that is going to look so different compared to if you go and you get married in a vineyard that is a wedding
Proper wedding venue, yes.
and has everything decked out to be a wedding venue. Like I said, I don't know
it's
what the case is, but and also wedding like vineyards can look so different.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Depending
also
on where
like
you are.
the people who are, I suppose, depends who they invite. But like, yes, the family will be the crossover at both weddings.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, you're going to have a large portion with friends.
Oh yeah,
That this is completely new to them.
especially because like the girl that posted this has been living in the UK for
Yeah.
4 years or something.
Yeah.
So like, and she's also younger than the sister. So it's kind of like there's probably no crossover between friends.
Yeah.
Like no
So,
one's really going to know.
No. And then you've got the partner's side of the family and friends.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really only the two sisters, their family, that will cross over at both weddings, which is not that bad.
It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
Like it's just one of those
Both
things
weddings
that
will be beautiful in their own way.
100%. Yeah. And it's like, I just struggle so much to see or understand it. And I'm sure you're the same, that like, if when I was touring venues for my wedding, the venue that I ended up at was the same venue as my sister's.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like we're going to decorate it probably very differently.
Yeah.
And like even, this is kind of going a little off topic, but the house that I live in, like that my husband and I built, is the same house that my brother built.
Are you close by to him? And it's like in the same area? Or?
We're like a couple of suburbs away from each
Yeah.
other, but because of the block of land that he bought his a few years earlier than we did, but because of the size of the block of land that both of us could afford at the time that we bought it, the house that we got is the best house that fits on that block.
Yeah.
That still gives you like a little bit of backyard and makes the most sense.
The same like layout sort
Same
of thing.
layout.
Yeah.
So
That's so good.
So my house and my brother's house are the exact same. Mine is just, well, he doesn't live there anymore, but mine is just flipped.
Yeah.
But because
you
of
furnish it differently, you put your own spin on
because
it.
of the colors that we chose and the furniture that we chose and the vibe that we have compared to the vibe of my brother, the houses felt and looked so different. And that is going to happen in the exact same way with a wedding.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, people are still going to have the best time. The wedding, it does always come back to you're marrying the love of your life.
Yes.
And yes, I do understand that all of that, the element of it being unique to you and what exactly what you want is important. But yeah, you're still going to have the best night of your life.
Yeah.
And it'll be different.
And I also think that like if the sister is like not in a relationship, her future partner might not want to get married in a different country.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
And like, depending on the person that she meets, and you can change so much, and your opinions and values and, you know, ideas about things can change so much over the course of not very long. Like, imagine if she cancelled the Italy wedding, got married in London, like settled for a wedding in London, and then in 2 years' time, the sister decides she doesn't want a wedding in Italy anymore and gets married locally in the US. Like that, you'd be so hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's just not worth that risk, and you just need to like do what is best for you guys. And it sounds like that is a
Italian wedding
in Tuscany with
and the fact that you can afford to, or that means you can afford to pay for accommodations and flights. Like that's
huge,
incredible. So it would be such a missed opportunity to not do that.
I think a lot of it has to come down to envy.
Yeah.
The sister's really jealous.
Yeah.
And it's hurting her, and she's just taking it out in an unfortunate way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Also, Reddit agrees with not the a-hole for that one. All right. Am I the a-hole for giving my wedding guests a dress code? Okay. I would already... I haven't even read anything, but I'd say no. But let's may change my mind. Okay. I'm getting married to my partner, and we have planned a fantasy Renaissance themed wedding. Oh, okay. We are massive fandom nerds. Books, video games, movies, comics, etc., and actually met at a Ren fair and wanted that to be part of our wedding. We discussed it with our close friends, and everyone thought it was a great idea. So we sent out the invitations plus an attached letter that explained why we wanted to have a themed wedding and examples of the type of things we wanted people to wear. Just Google Ren Fair and if you want to see. I shall. I don't know what that is. We included photos, descriptions, budget categories, and went from how to DIY a costume using old thrifted clothes to just straight out buying something online. We also asked people to reach out if they had any worries so we could work something out. I have received a few messages from my closer friends saying they've heard other people, including some me and my partner's family members, calling me a bridezilla, saying we are being unreasonable and that this is ridiculous, that they don't want to go if I'm going to get all up in arms over clothing. My soon-to-be mother-in-law and sister-in-law is especially pissed. I reached out to them after their names were mentioned, and they said I am ruining what is supposed to be a happy day by demanding people dress up like idiots. They said everyone should be allowed to dress in what makes them feel comfortable, and I'm being very controlling. My partner says not to listen to them, but there are so many people saying it. I'm feeling pretty hurt by all of this. I assumed people would react like this if I said everyone needed to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on costumes, but we went out of our way to include pictures and suggest as many very low budget options as possible. I honestly didn't think it was a big deal, but now I'm having second thoughts about the whole themed wedding idea. Am I the a-hole? Now, there was a couple edits that she made after she posted the original post. So first edit, we put in the invitation, we don't expect or want people to buy us wedding gifts and would rather they keep their money for themselves or use it on their outfit. Okay. And then one of the low budget options was things like a normal floral spring summer dress maybe people would already own with the addition of like a flower crown or belt or something. And it went up from there. For more masculine stuff, it was something like a linen shirt with a piece of fabric tied around their waist or a belt. It's quite low key and I'm not super strict about it, just not things like cocktail dress and bodycon dresses or formal suit and tie. Also just going to add, excluding sister-in-law and the mother-in-law, our closest family and friends haven't complained and several people have said they are looking forward to it. It is more so cousins, aunts, uncles and those sorts of level friends. They have also not directly contacted us with their concerns and we are hearing it through the grapevine. I don't think she's the a-hole at all.
I don't think so either. I want you to look up the Ren Fair. Because I personally think that this would be so much fun.
Let's have a look. Oh.
Right?
Yeah. This is so cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not bad at all.
No.
This would be such a fun theme. It's like
medieval type clothing.
Like kind of old world princess vibes.
Yes. Yeah. I think it would be so much fun, like an excuse to dress up. And I also think they've gone out of their way to make sure that they have loads of different options for what people can do. And like they've said, one of the options is literally just wearing a sundress.
Yes.
And putting on like a flower crown or wearing a belt around your waist.
Yeah,
with it.
which would be extremely
so
cheap.
easy.
Yeah.
And also you can buy, like I'm sure I would be able to find like a sundress that I could wear again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dress it up for the day and then wear it throughout summer.
Yeah. And I actually feel like the people who are being extremely selfish here is the mother-in-law and sister-in-law, because it's almost like they're making it about them.
Yeah.
And they want to take this as an opportunity to dress up a certain way and have their wedding fantasy, even though it's not their wedding.
Yeah.
Where it's just so infuriating to me. So I'm like, just like, it is not your wedding. Like, you will have your turn. It's not about you. If they don't want you in a cocktail dress, like, then just respect
don't
their
wear the
wishes.
cocktail dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Respect their wishes.
It just shouldn't be hard.
No.
I could understand, like they said, if they're trying to make people spend hundreds of dollars on a really like detailed, extravagant outfit, but they're not.
Yeah, not
they're
at all.
They're giving people so many options to be creative with it and make it their own.
Yeah. And like by the sounds of things, it's like that's who they are as a couple to the core. They literally met at a Ren fair. A Ren fair, which I'm guessing is kind of like a Comic-Con sort of situation where it's like
so, yeah.
They dress up and, you know, in these outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like that's literally who they are as people to the core, as like that's how they met. It's who they are as a couple. And what, you're going to complain because you don't want, or you want to wear a cocktail dress for one night and it's not how you wanted your child to get married? Like,
I think it's beautiful
that them. Don't come. If you don't want to wear it, don't come.
Well, that's it. And like they kind of said, where did they say it? It's more cousins, aunts and uncles, or those sort of like lower level friends in a way. If they're really going to complain that much, they don't need to be there.
Yeah, they're not your actual friends.
Because chances are, if they're being so negative about it, they're going to continue being negative about it on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last thing that you want. Like I said, when I first looked this up, I was like, that looks like so much fun.
I know.
Like
Who
getting to
wouldn't
randomly dress up like that for someone's wedding, and it's not something you usually do. Like you just get to have fun with it.
Exactly.
Like, and I struggle to see any other perspective other than that.
Same.
Because it just should be fun. And it's, like you said, so cool that they're really honoring who they are as a couple. And that's how they want to celebrate like the start of their marriage. Mm-hmm. It should be celebrated.
Absolutely. So, yes, you are not the a-hole. And don't say anything else. Straight just reply, don't come then.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I also get the vibe that like, that's obviously what you're into and what brings you and your partner joy. And it really feels very judgy from like these family members that they're like not wanting to support it.
Yeah.
Because it should just be easy.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we move on? Mm-hmm. Would I be the a-hole for cancelling my sister's wedding because it was my wedding first?
Here we go again.
Another sister. I was meant to get married on the 1st of February, which was mine and my ex-fiance's anniversary. We ended the engagement shortly after the new year because he cheated on me. The wedding was initially planned with just my money, but was very low key. And my parents asked if they could put up some additional money to make the whole thing a bit bigger. By the end, about 60% of the wedding was paid for by me and 40% by my parents' contribution. My ex and I had agreed that I would pay for the wedding while he covered the honeymoon. My ex left me to deal with cancelling the wedding as his money wasn't involved. And I turned to my mother and sister for help because I didn't have the mental capacity or emotional capacity to call the vendors and venues and whatever else and cancel everything.
That's so sad.
So sad. My sister is engaged and helped me with a lot of wedding planning. Next thing I know, my mother and sister are asking me if I wouldn't mind my sister just taking my wedding.
Oh.
Every
Okay.
part of it, from the venue to the cake and everything in between. The sole difference will be the wedding dress, and even then she said if she can't buy off the rack, she might have to get mine tailored to fit her instead.
Okay.
I called off my engagement less than 3 weeks ago. I am a mess. I reached out to my family to help me cancel the wedding, and my sister is planning to take it over instead. My sister has rung around our family explaining that she's taking over before she told me this. They are all attending. Her fiance has contacted his family and given them the date he will be getting married. I found this all out today. She asked me if I was okay with this, like she hadn't already arranged everything. I told her to go F herself. Valid.
Yep.
With reason.
Yep.
I have until the 23rd to cancel things and get the money back. There's a couple of things where I won't get money back at this stage, but over 2/3 of it is still refundable. The money will be refunded to the card it was paid by, so both me and my parents will get the correct amounts back. Everything is shut right now, but it's the 21st tomorrow as I've not been in contact with these companies and it's my name on the contracts. I have full power over the wedding. My sister said she'd pay me back eventually, but knowing her, I'll never see that money again. Would I be the a-hole if I rung round everything and cancelled? We have an update.
Yep.
I talked to my sister and explained how upset I was and how hurt this made me feel. And she said that this was a good thing and it would be therapeutic for me to see good come from bad. I said that is not what it's feeling like on my end. And to me, it feels like I got cheated on a month before my wedding. And my sister said she would cancel everything for me and then decided that getting married in my dress in the venue my ex and I picked out together on my anniversary date. And this did not feel good. When you put it that way.
Yes.
I said if she wanted to buy the wedding off me, then I needed payment in full for my 60% by the 23rd, and I wanted to switch out our names on the contracts. She said she was hoping for closer to a payment plan where she paid me back 50% of the 60% I put down in monthly installments over the next 10 months. She wanted to pay me back 5% per month for 10 months, and I still wouldn't get all my money back. Let's hear your thoughts first.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
I know, right?
I think I'm on the original bride's side.
100%.
Yeah. What?
There is just like, I just cannot believe
What?
that this sister has gone, I'm so sorry you got cheated on, babe, but I'm going to take the wedding.
Yeah. Like what?
How is that even in a thought in her mind?
What on earth? But like, I wouldn't even want that wedding. Like, why? What?
That's the other thing. Like,
I would not want. Like, I would just feel like it's got bad karma. Like
bad juju.
Bad juju. Like, what? Why would you do that?
That is not the wedding that I would want to have.
No. And that's just so. How can you stand and be in that wedding knowing that it was not yours?
Yeah.
Like that you didn't pick out any of this.
I know. And also the fact that the sister told the whole family.
Yes, before her.
And then went to her and was like, hey, is it okay if we do this? I've told everyone we're doing it. And my fiance has told his family we're doing it.
So we're doing it basically.
We're doing it. Also.
And the money thing?
The money thing.
Yeah.
That
no way.
Within a year, basically, she's still not going to have all of her money back.
No way.
That
is not her wedding to pay for.
No.
Damn. Okay. Continue.
Okay. I've made the calls and cancelled everything.
Good.
Everything was paid for by me and my parents' money paid primarily. My parents' money paid primarily for upgrades to the things I'd already bought. The money will be refunded to whoever paid for it, so myself and my parents will get all the correct money back. However, with some, we've lost the deposit entirely. On average, 50%, but some kept more, some kept less. Obviously, it is very close to the wedding at this point. Like, I think it's less than a month out.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. With some, like the baker, who was a family friend, hadn't started on the cake yet, so they completely refunded it. I think the fact that I was open that the wedding was off because he cheated made them feel bad for me and probably made a few of them more lenient on refunds. They've said I didn't just bring it up for the sake of it. Most of them asked if I'd wanted to reschedule. On the whole, I've gotten a little over half back, which is not as much as I thought. Really annoying thing is that I